Hey guys, Dr. Plague here. Welcome back for part 3 of Cristopher Smoked Cougars Sleeping to Be Awake. This is book 2, The Understanding. I hope you enjoy it. This will be part 3, but it'll be part 1 of 2 of this particular book, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. This can't be real. That's all I kept thinking. How could I possibly have gotten into any of this, and that I could be part of whatever it was that was going on? The man looked at me firmly, but with a presence of fear in his eyes, as if we were all doomed to a horrible fate. I looked at him in a heroic manner and said firmly, "Call whatever troops we have left, or any allies we can contact. Set a rallying point close to our base. From there, we'll push forward and get through them." The man was shocked at the way I spoke, and looked at me as if I was a god, and I was here to save them, but I honestly had no fucking clue what was going on, and just thought of a strategy in my head I believed had been used by armies in multiple wars. Seemed like the best tactic at this point, even though I didn't know what exactly was going on, or who we were at war with, or even why. But what I did know is that there were other beings here now. Some on our side, and others, well, you get it. He responded, "Yes, sir," with a faithful sound in his voice, sounding as if I had just saved millions from death. Leaving to get his orders, I began trying to be calm, cool, and collective about the situation, and try my best to just make the best of it. I say this with great displeasure, knowing, yes, this part will be over, but a new chapter begins. I myself had to start figuring out what the hell was going on. So I figured I'd search the room, since now I can see a little better. It looks as though this is our base, and this is my office. I was hoping maybe there would be some kind of news clipping or videos, just something to understand what's happening. Oddly enough, it seems as if there was little to no power, which explained why it was black when I first woke up. Walking around, I started talking to myself and began saying to myself, "Hey, you've been through a lot. You'll get through this. Everything's gonna be all right." Even though it was just my voice in my head, it was enough to help me get motivated to go through the room for clues. I began combing the room, looking for some type of documents or just anything to let me know what was happening. Out of nowhere, everything started getting brighter. With that happening, I thought maybe I was in the lab, just under another experiment. Beginning to settle down a little bit, feelings of fear and nobility filling me, I started to get scared of what I was becoming. But I felt like I was doing something noble, stopping this group from causing any more harm to more innocent people. Then I think to myself, but who am I to decide what is right and what is wrong in this situation? I barely know what's going on. More or less to be calling the people we're fighting the aggressors and us the innocent? As I started thinking on all my experiences so far, I noticed there's one connection that all of them have. There is never any evidence to prove the situation at hand, and when I do start to get some type of information, that's when I wake up somewhere entirely different, with no recollection of how I got there. Though all of the places I've been to, excluding this one, I have been to and had a situation. This is like a work of fiction. This is the one that doesn't match the rest of them, and there are still no clues as to what's even happening here. Again, I'm here not knowing what the fuck is going on, and why I'm even here. I sat down in a chair and saw in the corner a glimmer of light. I thought maybe if I just sat and relaxed, I might be fine and be able to continue to the next part of this nightmare. Everything was rushing through my head at this point, and all I wanted to do was take a knife and slit my throat to stop all this stupid shit that isn't making any sense anymore. Instead, I calmed myself down by reciting John Lennon's song, Mind Games, because it just seemed to fit and help me think I might find the answer I need. It also kept me quite calm. I remember I noticed when I sat down that I saw a glimmering light in the corner, and I remembered I had seen that light when I saw the bus rolling down the hill. It had vanished, so why was this one still here? I moved towards the light, and the closer I got, the weaker I felt, as if I was Superman and this was kryptonite. Managing to keep my composure, I continued towards the light, hoping maybe I was getting weaker because this was the source that caused me to go into different time frames and my slightly fabricated past. Well, no answers. Fuck it, I'm done. I'll play their little fucking games, but this time it's on my own terms, and I'll get down to the bottom of this. The light grew brighter with each step. I cautiously strolled, feeling as if soon there might be a sudden gust of force that would suck me into the light. The feeling of despair and failure were all around me, in a sense because I felt I had let these people down, and now I was leaving reality to a new reality where things might be better or might be worse. Finally, I get through the light and come into the other world. It's dark, but I feel as if I may be in a dark room for an odd reason beyond explanation. This can't be real now. Could this have happened? I start to have this intense headache. In a way, it's comforting since a headache to me means something bad, but could it be the opposite? I'm not sure anymore, and it's becoming more and more difficult to begin to even reason with myself that it might be okay. Every time I do, something bad happens. My eyes begin to open to a lit, dark, spherical room, like I'm inside a plastic schoolworld globe. The heat in the room is unbearable. I can't stand it. It feels like I'm in hell. The smell of sulfur's in the air, and it's nauseating. I try to pull myself together to hurry to the next objective. The smell is too much. Where the fuck is it coming from? I say this casually to myself, in my head, you know. Then, at that exact moment, he appears from the dark. He laughs passionately, clearing his throat. Well, that smell you're referring to in your safe place is me, young Chris. He bursts into a fit of laughter again, which is getting to me. Erasing my fear, I conjure up a retort. Well, after you're done with your childish laughing, would you mind telling me two things? One, who the fuck are you? And two, where the hell am I? He starts to walk closer. I can smell the sulfur at a greater level. He's looking me up and down. I can feel it. A loud, banging noise occurs right in between us. It goes quiet for a second. Well, what a nice choice of words. Hell. Funny word, isn't it? Looking for fear, I assert myself. I'm done with these fucking games. Get to the point quickly, or I'll end this game once and for all. Again, the place is swept with a nervous, racking silence. And with that, he replies, "Oh, come on, Chris. You really expect me to believe you're gonna kill yourself and end this? Listen, even if you do, what makes you so sure you will end and not just continue?" Stuttering is all I did as I tried to form an answer. Collecting my thoughts, I bravely said, I don't, but it's worth a try, isn't it? And even if I don't get out of this, at least I gave it a try, and it's worth it to me. He laughed in a demeaning way. Well, maybe I should even the playing field. In a panicking state, my heart started to race, thinking on what he may be implying. A whole cornucopia of ideas and images came into my mind that very moment. The man began to walk closer towards me and put his hands on my shoulder, looking me sternly in the face and said, "You'll be free in a little bit. What you just went through was a test, and you passed. Congrats. Now, realize it's time to move on." What the fuck is going on? A giant energy type force formed around me, and I blacked out. I began waking up after feeling as if I had been hit over the head with a metal bat. My eyes searched the area to see if the beast was gone. No sign of him, but everything had changed. The atmosphere was light blue with a tint of magenta. The stars were shining brighter and more mesmerizing than I had ever seen them. Where am I? I looked around astonished that everything went from grim, dark, menacing feeling, dark black color, to a wonderful light and bright, vibrant color that makes me feel amazing. My mind was boggled, and I was left breathless, looking around myself, feeling at peace for once. "Hey dude, the party's over here, man." I looked to the right, and Saw hippies. I guess that's what the right term would be, seeing as how we were in San Francisco. Looking back at the man, I said, "My bad, man. I'm tripping pretty harsh, dude." It was the only words that seemed to fit at that moment. He waved me over and said, "All right, dude. I got some tabs. Want to try a couple hits?" I was nervous to try any type of drug, especially at this point in my life when I'm not sure what's real anymore. "Hey, man, it's okay. I know what's going on." He winked at me. I saw a silver light glow around him. That kind of put me at ease. "Yeah, okay. I'll take a couple of hits." He handed me the tabs, and I proceeded to take each one. I became intoxicated in such a way I can't really even describe it. I remember everything becoming dark, almost like I had my eyes closed. I remember I began to try to open my eyes, thinking maybe that's why it was dark. Maybe I closed my eyes because I wanted to enjoy the experience. I was so very wrong. It was my eyes that were closed, but as I began to get a single eye open, I heard my sister sitting by me and whispering, "Please, big brother, come back. I miss you. The whole family does. I know you just wanted to have fun, but you took it too far. Why did you have to get in your car? Why didn't you call a fucking cab? Or me?" I didn't want to open my eyes anymore. I didn't know what was going on, and if it was even real. That voice. I miss my family, and to hear my little sister's voice made me feel like this was a fight worth fighting after all. My eyes were tearing up at this point. I had no choice but to open my eyes now. Slowly I began to open my left eye. I could see my sister. She looked beautiful, but she was crying. "Why are you crying?" were the only words I wanted to ask her, but I couldn't. There was a weird restriction. It was like I was still asleep and I couldn't speak or move. Using what little energy I still had, I began to try to move a centimeter at a time. The restrictions I had felt were starting to lift, and now, in a weird way, to power down. I was desperate to speak to my sister, but all I could do was lie still and hear her cry and hear the sad, depressing tone of her voice. It was too much to handle. I'm not sure what she was talking about, but I wish I did, so I could in some way comfort her. The restrictions were gone, but so was she. It was almost as if she disappeared as soon as I was able to move. "Chris, please wake up. I love you more than anything. Please, I didn't mean for it to happen like this. I need you in my life. Please don't go. Emily, wow. So many people, all in this fucked up nightmare now. And now they're gonna fuck me more by bringing my wife into the picture? Babe, I miss you." That was the moment I realized I'd lost everything. My wife, my family, my whole life. Crying is all I could hear for an eternity. You realize she never really loved you anyway, right? Suddenly my eyes jolted open. Great, I get to deal with a wannabe demon now. What am I in, Supernatural? "Oh really? Please do tell me what makes you so sure." Raphael grinned from a menacing look as his distorted face with its dark, reddish skin that seemed like something from a horror movie. A Nightmare on Elm Street, to be exact. "Well, where do I begin? Ah yes, how about your birthday, the night of your little accident? She was with your best friend, Joe Fulton, fucking his brains out and planning on leaving you for him. Or how about the time before that, 3 months ago, when she was supposedly at work, but called out sick and went on fondling your best friend Michael at his house before she ran right to the right price and hurried up and put on her uniform just as you pulled up in front of her job?" I just laughed. You expect me to freak the fuck out and start getting pissed, don't you? Look, I don't know if you realize this, but even if that was true, I do believe there isn't much I could do anyway, just due to the fact that I'm in this predicament. But thanks for the info. I'll keep it in mind when I get out of here, if I ever do. He began to get a little pissed. I could see the anger rising in his eyes. "Whatever you say, I'll be back." And with those words, he was gone. I'm not 100% sure, but I might have just pissed off a demon to the point of leaving. Well, that's one thing I get to check off my bucket list. On to the next one that waits for me now. "Hon, wake up. You're gonna be late again." Awesome. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. Or should I say, she. This is turning out to be a great day. This is why I get fucking angry with you. Get the fuck up or I'll murder you. Wow, so now I'm getting murdered. I tossed and turned on the bed for a second and sat up. Okay, I'm up. What the fuck is so important? She began to laugh. Well, I figured with it being your birthday and all, you'd want to wake up to some fun. She started pulling her pants and panties down until she was naked. I'm stunned when she does this. Well, hey, I can't argue with that. She jumped on top of me and started kissing me vigorously. She sat close to my ear and whispered, "This is where you fucked up. Remember?" I jolted backwards and hit my head on the wall. What did you just say? She looked at me confused. What the fuck are you talking about? I whispered, "I love you." I began to get nervous and said, "Look, I know what you said, and it wasn't that. What did you mean? This is where you fucked up." I know I heard that. She smiled and looked down at me. Don't you remember? This is the night we got into that fight. You ran off and got fucked up with your friends while I was here giving... I got furious. Shut the fuck up. I don't care what it is and what you have to say. I loved you and you hurt me. That's the end of it. I went to get up and everything went black. I heard a deep voice laughing. So, Chris, have a good walk down memory lane? Sadistic laughter was coming from all directions now. I still can't see anything and everything is still black. I'm starting to have a panic attack. I can see a dark red door in front of me now. Walking towards the door, I got my hands around the knob and opened it. All around me is an apocalyptic type vision of New York. Buildings were crumbling down the ground, shops are abandoned, and playgrounds are all empty. To my right, I see a demonic entity, and it's smiling. To my right, I see a demonic entity, and it's smiling. It looks in my direction and snaps his jaw open and slams it shut. My head starts to hurt. So, Chris, you scared yet? I turned and looked at the demon. We stared each other down. No, I'm not scared. I believe in Jesus. After I said that, he snarled at me with a menacing look. So, this is the famous Chris I keep hearing about, huh? I spit in his direction. Well, I don't see anyone else around right now, so I guess it's the fucking famous Chris. He looked me up and down while stroking his hair. Well, I guess I might just take this contract myself then. After all, you are famous. I laughed and checked my surroundings to see if maybe I might have a way to escape. Seemed like I was fucked. I'm possibly gonna die. He walked closer towards me and I stuttered. Well, I guess it has to be this way. He smiled in delight. I'm glad you feel that way about it. He stopped, a look of horror forming on his face. He's not going anywhere. I turned around and saw a girl with bloody scratch marks across her face. She had red hair and was wearing a sexy outfit with a black two-piece skirt laced up the back with a bow. She looked at me like she was sizing me up. He's more valuable than a little shitty consolation prize. He's worth his way out of hell. Great. Just when I think that it couldn't get any worse, it does. I look towards the right and see a building burned down, but a portal-like door inside of it. Well, what do you say, I don't know, to a little duel for his soul? I stood frozen. Chris, this is your chance. Run. That's what I heard being said to me in my head. How am I supposed to keep calm about this? All I can see is two demonic entities fighting over my fucking soul. I got ready to start running and then boom! What the fuck was that? We all looked around to see what could have caused that type of commotion. It was a perfect distraction for me though, so I got out of there. The floor started shaking and both of them said, "You gotta be kidding me!" I ran to the building that I saw the portal in and ran straight into the portal-like door. I was assaulted by the sound of breaking glass. What the fuck are you doing? Are you trying to kill yourself, shithead? Realizing I'm on the ground outside my childhood home, I went through the front door. I'm not sure what I was thinking. Sorry, Michael. My brother Michael is sitting on a work stool and giving me a nasty look. Yeah? Well, sorry isn't gonna fix that fucking window now, is it? Fuck, you're an idiot. That day was one of the best days of my life. I was 13 at the moment, and it was around that time I had my first sexual experience with Melissa, a beautiful blonde, dark Italian skin tone, luscious full lips, or DSLs as we used to call them. If you don't know the acronym, ask your mom. Christopher, please, just get the fuck out of here. I looked at Michael and smiled. You don't gotta be a dick, I'm out. And with that, I got the fuck out of Dodge and went to my friend's house down the road. Good evening, everyone. It's me, Dr. Plague. Thank you so much for joining me for tonight's reading. It's time once again to thank our patrons. Leslie Lou Reed, who has pledged $5 at our Spooky Skeleton tier. Thank you so much, Leslie. We couldn't do it without you. And if you too would like to become a patron, there's a link down below. Come and sign up, and you too can hear your name read at the end of every story. Also, a special thanks to Cristopher Smoked Courgar for letting me read your story. It's been a delight, my man. I appreciate it. Come back next time and join us for part 4. And as always, have a wonderful evening.